Yet though,
This meeting is being live streamed.
preparing to live stream. It's always so exciting. All right. I believe we are here.
Okay.
Oh, good Lord. So here's the problem, which never happens when I wear my normal headset, is that I'm hearing the echo.
Oh.
But I just muted it, so we're good.
Okay. All right, good.
Weird. That never happens with my other headset. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome. This is Next Level. I'm Emily Reese. That is Sam Keenan. He's the producer of Level with Emily, our show about game audio. And, you know, we like to pop on every Wednesday and talk about the upcoming episode for the week and just have a little chat about it, because we always do chat about it. Just fun to have the conversation online, and eventually we'll be opening things up for questions and chatting and all the things. But in any event, hi Sam, how's it going?
Hi. It's good to see you without the headphones on.
Don't be starting that, because first of all, I mean, I think it would be very dangerous to use these for an interview. Just if the batteries die, I would have to always be like Johnny on the spot of having them charged. So so I don't know if that will be like something we'll see often here on Level videos in the future, but it is a nice change. And honestly, I did that so that you and I could chat while I set up the studio.
Right.
Yeah. And so my hair could dry. That was the other reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, this week we are having a very early guest from way back in the Top Score days. Vince Diamante. I don't know why I'm being so coy about it. Vince Diamante, who did the music for Flower from that game company. Do you remember Flower?
Oh yeah. I played Flower.
I know you did. Yeah. It's a great game with a great soundtrack.
Because I don't play most of these games, as you know, but I played that one.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you played Journey too. Now, Vince obviously didn't score Journey, but but you've played games from that game company, and if you've done that, then you already have a good leg up to understand how Sky operates and what Sky is like, because it is in a lot of ways kind of Journey-esque, where you're this lone traveler, but you encounter strangers along the way, and you can I don't know, do you remember the part in Journey where you're like slaloming down the sand?
Yeah,
that like my favorite part of the game, and you get to do that all over the place in Sky. And you get to fly, which is pretty great.
Yeah, that sounds super cool.
Yeah, and it's free to play. It started on mobile in 2009. Or no, geez, no, that was Flower came out in 2009. 2019 is when Sky came out. Just fast forward a decade to when Sky came out. And now it's branched out to consoles and stuff, so you can play Sky anywhere, and I highly recommend it. But I'll stop talking now. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Vince and you know, the music for Sky, because that's what we talk about. We didn't talk about Flower. We talked about his 4 volumes of music for the game Sky, Children of the Light.
Yeah, it's the crazy amount of music for one thing. But the music is beautiful and just super ornate and really well put together, and sounds nice too. It's a good example of somebody you know, doing a very good job with synth sounds and you know, like if you want a good if you want to hear what it sounds like if somebody makes like synth orchestra stuff sound good, this is a good example of it. You know,
it's such a good example of it, because, you know, oftentimes when I'm listening, I'll be out on a walk, and, you know, that in some ways is a little bit of a disservice to the soundtrack, because, you know, when I'm walking around Minneapolis, it's noisy, right?
Yeah.
So I miss a lot of nuance. And so, you know, I had to be like in a silent room with my nice studio headset on to be like, oh yeah, I can tell that some of that is synth, but otherwise, I mean, it's just so beautifully done. And Yeah, I just loved it.
Yeah, part of that comes down to mixing styles and stuff too, because orchestral music is a lot more dynamic, and that's the way this music is put together. They don't, because it's a lot easier when you're building a fake orchestra to push everything right up where you can hear it.
Sure.
But that makes it sound a lot more fake. So it's got it's got all the breathing room of an orchestral recording, which is super smart and a good way to do it. Yeah.
And I love he talks about the iwi, which, a lot of people might not know what an iwi is. And Sam, you didn't see, but in the video, he starts pulling iwis out of everywhere. And iwi stands for electronic wind instrument. And it looks kind of like it looks like a soprano saxophone, sort of, or a clarinet, in that it's a stick with keys on it and a mouth hole, right? Now I really want an iwi.
Okay.
I'm like, wow, because as I've aged as a trumpet player, I'm not getting my trumpet out every day. I mean, at this point, it's been more than a year since I played my trumpet, which is crazy. But an iwi, I could still be making music and not feeling self-conscious about keeping up on the trumpet skills. You know what I mean? The chops, basically the muscles and stuff. I mean, it's a different set of, you're still going to use facial muscles for an iwi, but it's a very different thing. And so we're talking about this because Vince used this to make a lot of his wind lines. And what a cool, I just love that that's what he did. I got so excited when he started showing me all of the iwis. It's so cool.
It's super cool. Also, that's kind of a testament to him being an interesting and intelligent person too, because I remember him when he was talking about that, he was talking about not being super up on wind instruments and stuff like that. So he just started going out and buying some, getting some iwis and learning.
Yeah.
And that's somebody like him, that's inspirational, because he not only can he make this music, but he's learned how to do the sound design stuff and how to do programming even. And he talked about how in the earlier days, he had to do all this stuff. He had to figure it out on his own. And that's a really powerful thing to do. And it's also not something everybody's good at. So that was cool too.
Right. And, I mean, one of the things about wind players is that you want to hear someone breathing. You want to hear the breath, because, we can get into a conversation someday about circular breathing. That is a thing for wind players, but not usually. So usually people are breathing, and then that's oftentimes what's considered a phrase. Sometimes, not always, but just when you hear a jazz quartet play, and the bass soloist plays, or the guitarist plays, or a non-wind instrument plays a solo, the really good ones are still phrasing their solos like a wind player would, and taking breaths, because it's such a natural way to hear music. And I think that's something that Vince probably got from this too, is just he's making these lines, and they're more real because there are breaths in them, because he's playing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a hot mess coming out of my mouth, but
no, it makes a huge difference. Difference. And it's that's why I've always personally stayed away from any instruments you have to blow into. What a pain.
So much work to have to breathe into something.
You can't smoke and play the flute at the same time.
Well, I guess you could inhale, and then that'd be awful. Right. That'd be awful. Do not recommend.
Not good for the flute either.
Not good for the flute. The flute's lungs would hate that. But back to the music itself. It really is just so beautiful and uplifting, and that's such a testament to the gameplay itself too. I mean, he's writing music that way because that's the way the game is supposed to feel, and it does. And he just contributes so much to it in that way. I just seriously, everybody should play Sky. It's such a Such a great game.
And about the music too. Like the other thing is just that kind of music sounds simple.
Yeah.
And it's really not. Like doing stuff that's sparse and remains interesting and beautiful, and the rolling strings and all that stuff happening is like that's not as simple as it sounds,
Yeah. And I also do want a couple of things that I feel important, that are very important. One being, since there's 4 volumes of music since the game came out in 2019, and they're constantly adding new content. I really encourage people to just pop around. I mean, listen to all of it if you can, but just take some time and pop around through a few tracks, and just to kind of get a sense for, one thing, how the music evolves, and the kind of fun things he's doing as seasons pop up in the game. But also, if you're able to buy it, you can buy it on Amazon, because we all know that, if you stream Sky the whole soundtrack 20 times, he's getting like 4.5 cents for that. So,
right.
I just like to encourage people to buy the music if possible.
Of course, yeah.
Obviously I want you to listen to it, but even if you're just altruistic and you want to buy it to support him, I recommend that too. Just, Amazon, man, they sell their music really cheap, which that's also a bummer, but also great. You can get each volume for $8.99 US.
Yeah.
So, just if you can support Vince and his amazing talent, that'd be great. But yeah, do you want to say anything else about Sky?
Oh, that's all I got to say about it, really. Check out the episode. It's worth it.
It'll publish Friday morning, as will the YouTube. And yeah, find us on Patreon. If you can support us, that'd be amazing. Patreon.com/level. Join us in Discord. That link is down in the show notes. You'll find us on Twitter and Facebook. Subscribe to this channel. We'd love that. And
and the other thing I'll just interrupt and say is we're trying to start showing up here every Wednesday 3 p.m. Central. Yeah. So for those of you checking this out, if you want to join us, we're going to get into trying to pay attention to the chat and to make this a little more interactive and all that stuff too. So
yes. In the meantime, put anything you want to ask us down in the comments, or just come find us on Discord and we'll chat with you there directly. So, all right. Thanks for hanging out, and watch for the new episode on Friday. Peace.
Peace.
All right. Now I can never remember how to shut this off.